Hey guys, welcome to the Rusty Beauties garage where we are restoring the 1994 Mazda Miata. This is episode 8 and we are back with Nick here to continue working on this corner. So in the last episode we pre-fitted the external part here, the fender, and we made sure that it fits well. And we installed it with some clickus so we can take it on and off as we want, and it's always gonna go in the same place. So now we can remove it and start working on this mess underneath where there's a lot of rust. We already cut some panels away, but I think we're gonna cut some more to give us more access. So without further ado, let's get crack-locking. All right, so now next let's see how we're gonna deal with all this inside here. I think next we should cut this, like I said, so we can open more space here, and cut this a little bit more to open deep inside and start fixing that. All right, that gives us a little bit more access. So I cut this off from here, and then this panel was here, so there were 3 spot welds that were holding it to this panel, and now we can have a little bit more access. I think I'm gonna cut even more now because the bottom of this needs to be repaired anyways, and there are 2 panels here. Oh my god, there's so many panels. So this panel goes down and curves in here and matches with this, and then this panel behind is this panel here with a big square opening here. So we need to repair the bottom of this panel, we need to repair the bottom of this panel, we need to repair all this in the back. This doesn't go inside the body, that goes into this cross member here or whatever that is, so it's not in the cockpit, which is good. So since we're gonna have to repair this as well, I think I'm gonna just cut it off like this again, so we can have more access to the back of this. And we're gonna start repairing the layers one by one here as well. This is plastic cover for here, like in our wheel well. We're gonna remove that because after we repair everything here, we're gonna have to repair also this, and this bottom part here, it's a separate part. You see here, that's where it ends, and it overlaps the one in the back by 3-4 inches here. So we're gonna have to remove this whole entire panel, repair the one in the back. I thought I was gonna see it through here, but I don't. There's so many layers here, it's crazy. Like, I'm trying to memorize here now how everything works together. That's why I'm also taking a video so I can go back and look at it after, because if I cut everything, and it's gonna be just an empty space after without any reference. To repair that in the back though, I have no choice but to cut this off. So let me see how that's gonna happen now. All right, so I managed to cut this from here, don't ask how, but we're gonna keep it. And I also remember that when I cut initially here, I kept all the pieces here for reference. For example, for this piece, I have the bottom that goes like this. Obviously it connects with this part here, goes in and goes down, and it matches this flange. And I also have this part here. So we kind of have reference. So you see this piece ends here. So we kind of have reference here for most of the parts. So that's this piece. And then the one on top, the one that we just cut from here, I actually have the continuation of it, but we don't really need this one because this is part of the rocker, and this we're gonna get new. But we're still gonna keep everything here for reference, of course, and this one for here. This we don't really need, but I'm gonna keep it. I kept it for 10 months, so I'm gonna keep it still. Okay, so now here inside, I'm gonna take the needle scaler I'm gonna buzz this all and see how much of it we need to replace. But this is one piece in the back. Finally, we are to the last layer. So the rear wall comes this way, and then it has this flange, and it's surprisingly solid, the bottom, but we'll see. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just what it looks like. All right, so turns out it is all rusted. Even here there is a hole. So looks like we're gonna have to replace a lot of it. I don't think it's rusted in that direction anymore. But this, if we have to, we can repair from underneath later. I'm not digging in that direction. Looks like things are looking better there. You see? Anyways, so obviously we're gonna have to replace a big chunk of this metal as well. So we're gonna have to decide where to cut it here at the back and then where to cut it here. The bad news is that we're gonna have to remove this. I wanted to keep it here as reference for how far out this part comes and then bends in, but we're gonna have to remove it. Also, we're gonna have to remove this flange from here. That's the outer rocker, so the rocker we have to take out anyways. So we're gonna remove it all the way from here, and we're gonna leave only this part there so we can make a template or make the repair piece for there, and then we're gonna cut this, or we'll see how that's gonna happen. But here at the end it looks like it's going up, and then it has a flat flange to match with this. That's complicated part. Like, we don't necessarily need to make it exactly the same as before, but we're at least where it meets the other parts we need to make it the same. So I'm afraid that I'm removing way too much metal from here, and I won't have reference for anything, but I'm gonna have to rely only on the video that I'm taking right now. So that's why I'm taking a lot. Okay, so I removed the bottom flange of the seal or the rocker that came all the way to here. And now here we still have two flanges. One is this flange and the other one is from this piece that ends here. So remember this part that we cut from here was like that. So in the back there's this piece that ends here. You see, that's its end. So this part that ends here goes down and connects with this part. But as you can see here, it is all rusted, so I'm gonna have to cut it all the way to here somewhere. But not only this flange, but also the piece at the bottom, because it is damaged all the way to here. I think in that direction it's better. It's rusty, but it's better. So we're gonna cut it somewhere here. Also here it makes this weird, I don't know what should I call it, like a bathtub, and the bottom is perfectly waved like this. So I think that's a jack point. That's where you should put your jack, but we're not gonna make it. I mean, I'm gonna make a flat piece. So we're gonna cut this bottom piece somewhere here all the way to the back, and we're gonna make a new one that goes up and covers all the way to here. And here at the end, I don't know how exactly we're gonna finish it, but maybe I'm gonna make one piece from here to here, and then from here we're gonna see how we're gonna make this other piece later. So I'm gonna cut it like this. So this outer piece that ends here, I'm gonna cut here, and here we're gonna remove it. The flange behind it I'm gonna leave all the way to here, but from here I'm gonna cut the flange behind together with the bottom piece. I'm gonna cut this way around this bracket up, and then here and here and here, and then the rest here we're gonna do separately. Okay, so most of the rust, I mean the really badly damaged from rust metal, is removed now. The rest we're gonna save. So I'm just gonna spray rust converter here now as far as I can everywhere, and then later we're gonna paint it with something so it is painted, it's not bare metal. And in the meantime we're gonna start making this patch now for here. Alright, so the rust converter is already eating the rust, which is good, even down there. But now I made this piece, so we now just need to trim this corner here from here so we can slide it a little bit forward, and then we're gonna trim this rear end to match this line, and then we can actually weld it. I didn't plan to weld today, but we actually can start welding. Well, we have to paint inside first, so okay, so we cut it to shape, and I drilled holes here for plug welds so we can weld it to this here and here as it was before. The gap became a little bit too big here, but Nick is gonna fill it up. We're gonna shoot some bed liner inside here. The back of this can all be bed liner. You know what, let's do weld through primer at the back and everything so it is easier to weld, and later we can spray whatever through here. But here inside there wasn't a problem obviously, so I'm not worried about that. The problem was on this side, but this side we're gonna spray with bed liner before we close it. So weld through primer it is. There you go. So Nick painted it with weld through primer. We painted the back of this. Now we can weld it there. Okay, it's tucked, so Nick is gonna weld it now, and I'm gonna see what I can do about this piece here now.
I'm busy.
Is it done?
Almost.
Almost. You haven't done the plug welds. You've done one. Okay, so finish them. The rest looks good. Yeah. All right. It looks good. We're not gonna even bother grinding it because it's inside. So, because it's the end of the day, we're just gonna paint it now. Next time we're here, we're gonna build the rest of it. It's gonna come together eventually. Okay, so far so good. Down there we can't reach too far, but at least here where the most, like where the problems were, obviously this is a weak spot. Now it's painted, so it's good. We primed it and then painted it. So all right, it's a few weeks later. Actually, it's probably a month later, because look at the weather now. It is pretty cold. It is only 7 degrees Celsius outside. It's October 7th, I believe. So you're probably gonna see us wearing shorts and t-shirts and getting sweaty in the beginning of this episode, but now it is already cold. Anyways, Nicole is not here yet. He's coming later this afternoon, so I'm gonna start without him and then he's gonna join us. Meanwhile, I ordered new seals, or rocker panels if you want to call them, and I also ordered the repair panels for the front fenders from here somewhere, or I think it's even from here. I think this is included. Anyways, we don't need all this, we need this part, so that's good. We don't need to fabricate this, and they're cheap. They were like $25 each. They don't look great, at least on the pictures, but we will see when we get them. Alright, so I actually went and I watched a little bit of my footage because it's not even published yet. It's in the beginning of this video, but I had to watch it and remember what this looked like here. So, yeah, you probably remember what it looks like. Something like this with a flange that goes this way and then meets this flange that comes this way down. So I think I'm gonna simplify it a little. We're not looking for originality here, we're just looking for everything to match. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make, instead of this curve here, you see how it is rounded, I'm just gonna make this corner continue and meet somewhere here, this corner. So it's gonna be like a sharp bend here, it's not gonna be round. Okay, so I cut a little template that I'm gonna use just like that. See, we're gonna have a flange coming that way and flange coming down and a flange coming up here. So this is gonna be the flat part in the middle, and we're gonna make these 3 flanges, and here in the corner we're gonna have to add metal, I guess. It's gonna be the easiest just to weld a piece here. Alright, so this is how it fits. I think it's not bad, with a small exception here, that I think I cut it a little bit too short, this flange. So initially, you see where I drew the flange like this, but that, if you come and look from this direction, if you look from this direction, this is not a straight line. And this needs to be a straight line coming down, you see? So I drew this other line, like this one here, but when you look at it this way, it's more like straight line, straight down, you see? So this is where I'm gonna have to bend it on this line, and this is gonna continue all the way to here. And now this corner is missing, and here this flange is gonna be a little bit too short, but if we have to, we're gonna weld it. So this needs to go down. So let's bend this one first, which is gonna straighten the piece here, but then we're gonna stretch it a little bit, and it's gonna bring it back to the same curve as here. Okay, something like that. We might need to extend this a little bit. Anyways, I need to get rid of this here, the old one, that's the wheel well. So I need to get rid of it so I can put this properly and mark, and maybe we should just cut it and weld this one in place, and then we can rebuild the wheel well. Alright, so I cut the old one out and it fits well here, like all the cut lines, but here I don't like this area. We're gonna tuck it in place like this, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna do about this. Maybe we should cut it off completely and make a new part for there, or I don't know, but let me tuck it first in place, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna do about this area here. This guy is waiting here patiently to start welding, and I need to hurry up with making my making my patch. Okay, I tucked it in place. Now let's see how it fits here with this. You see, it doesn't fit well. So this must be much lower. But how does it go lower? Because to go lower, I need to go this way, and it's gonna curve unless I just force it down. Okay, now it's not from here. Well, maybe that's the way, yeah. So I should have cut it a little bit longer here, but that's fine. So we're gonna have to add a little bit of metal here. Okay, and now we can let Nick weld it. I'm gonna push this away. Alright, so while he's welding there, I'm gonna come here in the front. I'm gonna try to get rid of this seal because, like I said, we ordered new one. So I'm gonna remove the shell from here and see what needs to be done underneath. Looks like we have to get rid of part of this kick panel as well because this panel overlaps the seal. I guess this panel ends somewhere here, like that, you see? Okay, we're gonna continue with that later because Nick is done with that part there. Rusty is done too. So let's inspect it, see if it is good, and if it's good, we're gonna move on to the next layer somewhere under here and make a patch for there. All right, so his weld wasn't penetrating enough, I think. He needs to be a little bit more brave, especially with this metal, which is solid here, so he can hold a little bit more. So I just made him go over it one more time, and now it looks better. And then we ground the weld here, we ground the weld here. This we're not even gonna bother. It's inside, that's how it's gonna stay. So until we get the seal and see how it's gonna match here with this, we're not gonna do anything anymore here. And this now fits well. So we're gonna move on to the next one, which I don't know which one to do first. I think we should do, I don't know which one overlaps which here. Yeah, this one overlaps this one. So we should build up this first, this layer. So this is the cut-off piece from here. But it was something like this. The bottom, it was missing, but this goes down and matches this flange and continues this way and meets this. So there's a square opening in it here. So we just need a strip that goes like this, and then from here it goes up and matches this part here. Okay, all right, I know it's not Stella, but it still works. So our template looks something like that. So this is where the square opening needs to be. And matches here, and we just need a V like bent this way. So then this is the flange where this piece is gonna overlap it after and match this. We just need to cut it to this where I marked it and here, and that's it. Oops, wrong way. I bent it the wrong way. Alright, so I also bent the bottom end, as you can see, and I bent a little flange here, which doesn't look great, but it's not such a big deal because it's gonna be hidden forever here. And that's how it fits. Again, I cut it a little bit too short here where my thumb is, but we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna have to fill it up again. Nicole has to fill it up. So I'm also gonna drill holes at the bottom on the flange for plug welds. So I'm gonna tack it and I'll show you when it's prepared, and then Nick is gonna weld it. All right, so okay, so I painted the back and drilled these holes and I tacked it, and I actually filled this up because it was a big gap, so it was gonna be pretty hard for Nicole, but he's gonna finish this side. This gap is not very little too, but he can fill this up, no problem. Then we're gonna do the plug welds and we can move to the next part, which is this one. I'll see if I can make a template actually before Nicole starts welding here. So while he's welding, I can make the part for here. All right, so this is the next patch. So that's how it's gonna go. I just need to make it a little bit longer to overlap this flange down there, I guess. And oh my god, then we're gonna have so many layers of metal because it's not only these three, so we have 1, 2, 3 layers, but also this one. This is coming down. It's 4 layers of metal here, so if I overlap this one as well, it's gonna become 5 layers here. So maybe we should cut, yeah, this flange we're gonna end here, and this side we can extend and make it match with this one. At least it's gonna be only 4 layers. Anyways, I'm gonna go make this one, and Nick is gonna weld that in the meantime. All right, so we welded this as well, and we have the cut-off pieces from here that we're gonna rust convert in the back and paint, but we can weld this back here, and then we're gonna have to fabricate a piece for the bottom because that's what we cut from there. So for the bottom we're gonna have to make a piece, but the top we can still use this one. For here, this is what we cut off, so we can't use this one. So I guess from here to the end we're gonna make another piece. So let me paint all this inside now, because soon it's gonna be closed. I'm gonna rust convert this, I'm gonna paint this as well, and then we can weld it back here. All right, this piece is installed, and that's gonna be the end for today. I'm just gonna paint now the weld because it's gonna be parked outside again for the next 2 weeks, and we don't want to have surface rust on the part that we just installed, right? That's why we're painting everything as we're going. So that's gonna be it for today. Thanks for watching, thanks for commenting and subscribing. I know he's making fun of me behind me, so thanks for commenting and subscribing, thanks for sharing, thanks for supporting the channel, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.